D'accord, les amis, nous allons continuer à étudier quelques particularités du passé composé avec les verbes réfléchis et je vais continuer à partager mon écran. Voilà. Alors, I had told you that with the verb avoir, if the verbs are not reflexive, so if the verbs do not belong to the house of être, we use the verb avoir and there is no agreement. There is one more exception to that. So, pour les verbes conjugués avec avoir, il n'y a pas de modification, sauf, except si l'objet direct précède le verbe. Do you remember the direct object pronouns, le, la, les, and l'apostrophe? That replaces objects and are placed before the nouns, before the verb. In this case, we do have to do the agreement. I hope you remember this. In case you don't, let's go over it again. Here we have a sentence like Nous avons vu les châteaux. We saw the castles. So les châteaux is the direct object. So it should be replaced by the direct object pronoun les. And instead of saying nous avons vu les châteaux, we saw the castles, we can say, to say as in English, we saw them, we say nous les avons vus, right? So we replace les châteaux with les, we place les before avons, and then we have to do the agreement of the past participle with this object pronoun. D'accord, in number and in gender. Here's another example. Les filles ont organisé une fête. The girls organized a party. So if we want to replace une fête with an object pronoun to say they organized it, we have to say la, or in this case, apostrophe, because we have on starting with a vowel. So we say, elles l'ont organisé, and we have to add a feminine e. So we have to do the agreement here because we have the direct object pronoun in front of the verb. Remember, we do not do the agreement if we have the indirect objects pronouns lui and leur. Now, the pronom relatif que, when we have the pronom relatif que, that means that, we use object pronoun. And that in the sense that we have in this exemple, d'accord, les monuments que nous avons visités étaient beaux. The monuments that we have visited, que nous avons visité, that we have visited. In this case, we add S, or we do the agreement of the past participle with les monuments. D'accord? Another case where we do the agreement of the past participle, even though we have avoir as a helper verb, is when we have interrogative adjectives. L'adjectif interrogatif, quel, with all its different forms and genders, like quel with S, quel with double LE, and quel with plural, feminine plural, the double LES, plus un nom. Also, lequel. Lequel means which. D'accord? Here's an example. Quel musée? Which museums? So it has to be singular. It has to be masculine plural because museum is masculine plural. Quel musée avez-vous aimé? It is using avoir au passé composé, but we have to do the agreement of the past participle. Quelle photo a-t-il prise? Which photo did he take? So prise agrees with photo and with quelle because quelle and photo are feminine. D'accord? So in the passé composé, with avoir, we never do the agreement unless there is le, la, les before the verb, unless the subject and the verb are preceded with que, or they are preceded by quel or quelle. Let's go over les verbes réfléchis du français 3. Here is a révision. We learned se réveiller, se lever, se laver, s'habiller, se promener, se reposer, s'amuser, s'arrêter, se dépêcher, s'excuser, se souvenir de. You remember? Se souvenir means to remember. S'amuser, to have fun. S'arrêter, to stop. Se dépêcher, to hurry. S'excuser, to excuse yourself. And the rest, I think you really know them well. Se réveiller, to wake up. Let's look at some of the reflexive verbs that we will see en français cadre. Here is la liste. S'asseoir, se lever, s'amuser, s'embêter, s'impatienter, s'énerver, s'approcher, s'arrêter, s'en aller. And for feelings, s'inquiéter, se mettre en colère, se sentir triste. And other meanings, s'appeler, se trouver, s'intéresser à, s'occuper de, se rappeler, se souvenir de, se tromper, se taire. D'accord? And here is another slide I want to go over with you. Les verbes réfléchis du français 4. L'usage idiomatique des verbes réfléchis. So, idiomatic use of reflexive verbs. To describe certain movements, the reflexive verbs can be used for that purpose, to describe certain movements, like se rendre à, to go to. Madame Meunier se rend à son bureau. She goes to her office or to her desk. The reflexive verbs are also used to describe feelings or to change or changes in feelings, like s'impatienter, to get impatient. Pourquoi est-ce que tu t'impatientes? Why do you get impatient? Pourquoi est-ce que tu t'impatientes? So it's a reflexive verb. To describe certain other actions and situations. S'excuser, to apologize. Tu as tort, you are wrong. Excuse-toi, apologize. Or se trouver, to be located. Où se trouve la pharmacie? Where is the pharmacy located? D'accord? Here is a follow-up to the vidéo. Merci beaucoup d'avoir écouté la vidéo. Au revoir.